All right, you start us off with an intro.
Welcome to Big Boys Locker Room. I'm Gavin.
I'm Grant.
And today we're going to be talking some college football. I think we should probably give like a backstory to show who our biases are.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a Georgia fan. I've lived here my whole life, but my dad was a big Canes fan growing up, so I kind of have a tendency to lean towards them too. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'm a Georgia Tech fan through and through, so there's a little rivalry going on here, and years of my ass getting whooped by his. So
except for last year.
Except for last year.
Last year was rough. Oh Lord.
But we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're pretty much gonna do our top 25 teams. We're gonna go from, I guess, top 30. We're gonna go from our people who didn't make it in, and we're gonna go all the way down to 1. We might have some hot takes. I know I do.
I do too. Yeah, we're gonna have a fun time with this.
I'm a little nervous for this, but yeah, let's get into our teams that didn't make it.
All right, you want to go first?
You can go ahead.
So 9 teams that didn't make it. At 30, I have Boise State. They lost a good bit, but they were a strong team last year, being in the college football playoffs. But still not a Power 4 conference team, so I felt highest I could put them is 30. Followed by Duke. I believe Manny Diaz has a lot of good talent coming to that team. I think he's a great coach, and I think there's some potential there. Next 2 are probably some of the highest takes in the whole list, and that is at 28 Michigan and 27 Tennessee. Tennessee lost everything, and I don't believe in Michigan's ability to produce at all, and don't see them as a top 25 team. They had one marquee win last year, and that was against Ohio State, a team who consistently chokes when they play Michigan. Besides that, they didn't really beat anybody. And then again, Tennessee lost the best part about their team, which was their quarterback. So I really don't think there's any production left at Tennessee whatsoever. And then finally at 26, I have Illinois. Illinois is one of those teams for me. There's a lot of unknowns there. And it's not a team I follow very well, but a lot of people are saying there's great things to come out of that team and a lot of potential. Gavin, you want to take it away?
Just so you guys know, we're doing this blind reactions. We've been talking about it for like the last week, and I didn't reveal any of my top 25. He didn't reveal any of his. Damn.
I said we're going to make some people mad with this. I will make people mad.
I thought I was going to make some Michigan fans mad at where I had them, but yeah, you taught me. They're definitely there. But I agree with you on the Boise State thing. I think when you lose someone like Ashton Genty, who's like a fucking V12 engine for you,
exactly,
and then it's really hard to replace that. But I think they're still a good team. I think they're the best team that's out of the Power 5.
I agree. And with Michigan, I mean, keep in mind, they were only 5-4 in the conference last year.
Yeah.
It wasn't a stellar year, and they were 8-5 overall. I mean, if this was an ACC team, which their schedule kind of looked like an ACC schedule, to be honest with you, they would be not even ranked at all. So, I mean, having them about to be ranked, I think is fair based off of last year's performance. I mean, Iowa had a better in-conference rating than Michigan did. So, I mean, I was close to putting Iowa in that 25 to 30 range. They were my one out of that. Mm-hmm. But I felt Michigan had to go there.
Yeah. I guess I can see, because I don't, if you'll see where I have Michigan, it's there, but I thought it was going to piss some people off.
That's all good. That's what we do. Yeah,
I've got, right outside of it, I've got USC. I've got Georgia Tech. Sorry.
No,
I've got Baylor, Mizzou, and I guess that's 5. I had Colorado and Nebraska kind of off to the side, but I don't know about Coach Prime's. I don't know if they reloaded well, and I don't know how Nebraska
Seems like a mixed bag,
Yeah. But yeah, let's get into the top 25.
Why don't you start us off here?
We'll do a little tandem.
Yeah, exactly.
So we should do like 25 to 21. We should go like 5 or 5. So I've got Texas Tech at 25.
Okay.
I've got Iowa at 24. We've got Oklahoma at 23. We've got Texas A&M at 22. And I've got Ole Miss at 21.
I think that's pretty strong. Mine's actually not too terribly different, with the exception of a couple schools. I have Oklahoma at 25, so right around the same range that you have. Followed by Alabama at 24, which I know will piss some people off. But again, it's a team that if you look at them last year, what was really their marquee win? They didn't do a whole lot except against Georgia. They were 5-3 in the conference, which is pretty decent. But again, that puts them below Tennessee, Mizzou, and Ole Miss, or in line with Mizzou and Ole Miss, and LSU, and South Carolina, and A&M. Right? I think their schedule might have been a tad bit easier. But they lost to Vanderbilt at the end of the day. I mean, the team has a tendency of choking. And they're probably going to choke on my call out of putting them at 24, especially with Georgia Tech following at 23. After Georgia Tech, I had Baylor at 22 and Utah at 21. I think Baylor might have a pretty good shot at being the Big 12 team to watch. I mean, everybody's been talking about Texas Tech, but I think Baylor actually might be able to surpass Texas Tech, but we'll have to see once the season starts.
Texas Tech spent so much money from what I saw on their team that if it does fail, then that's just kind of sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had I think Oklahoma is also kind of the choking thing. And just also their schedule. I tried not to put their schedule too much into these rankings just because I wanted to.
But they were 2-6 in the conference last year. They were 6-7. They barely qualified for a bowl game at the end of the day.
I think they're going to be better this year, but I don't know how much because they've got to play Texas.
The schedule's tough.
Yeah, their schedule's just it's rough, and sorry Texas A&M fans, but I don't buy into you at all. You're one of those teams that just every year we hear about you, and then by week 4 or 5 you're just going out of the top 25. So I keep hearing great things about you, but I don't really care.
I think that's understandable with A&M. The joke's 8-4, right? It's pretty consistent for the past couple of years, but they do have some power coming on, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later on.
Yeah. You want to go to 20 to 16?
Yeah, for 20, I have University of Florida, which I think is right about where they are. Again, this is a team I don't think will stay at 20. I think they'll actually most likely drop pretty hard. They've got the hardest schedule in college football that I've seen. I would not want to be Florida this year.
Yeah.
Followed by A&M, followed by Iowa State, Texas Tech, and Louisville. Are we going to go to 15 or you want to go to 16?
Just 16, yeah. We'll just do the 5.
Followed by Louisville. Texas Tech, as you were saying, is dumping a ton of money into their program. If they don't win the Big 12, something's wrong. And that comes down to a coaching issue at that point because they have the players to do it. They should be a playoff team just because they're set to win the Big 12.
Yeah.
Louisville, again, is another team that didn't make the AP poll for top 25, but I think it's actually looking really strong this year, especially in the offseason. I think there's a lot of potential there. Could they have been lower? Probably. Should I have given that spot to Alabama? Alabama fans will say so, but I certainly don't.
I would say so too. That's pretty crazy. I would say they probably should be a little higher. I've got Michigan at 20, which I thought was going to be the hot take. I got 19, I got SMU, 18, I've got Tennessee, 17, I've got Kansas State, and 16, I have Iowa State. I think really the Big 12 battle is really going to be between Iowa State and Kansas State, it looks like. But I don't know. There's just so much.
Yeah.
There's just a bunch. Big 12 is so hard to figure out who's going to be good because, like last year, there was a whole bunch of teams like an Arizona State, for example. They were supposed to be at the bottom of their conference, and they just shot up. You know?
Yeah, and I have Arizona State on here a little bit later on, just a little bit of foreshadowing. There's some good Big 12 teams, and there's a lot of unknown with Big 12. Like I said, I have Iowa State right below Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
I think either of those teams could be great. I think Arizona State could be great. I think Kansas State could be great as well, or Kent State.
Yeah. I know Iowa State's got a lot of starters coming back, which I like. Same with Kansas State, but I feel like I don't know. Iowa State lost their wide receivers to the draft, but I feel like they could
make it happen.
I think they're still better than Kansas State's,
That's
slightly.
fair.
Just slightly. I think they're both together, like right there,
Yeah.
17 and 16. And then you said you really don't have a lot of faith in Tennessee. I think they'll be fine this year. I like Aguilar as their quarterback. I think
they're 6-6 this year.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I think they're 6-6, scraping by for a bowl game.
I don't
Their
see them.
schedule's tough though.
I don't see them beating
half of it.
Alabama this year because it's at Alabama. I don't see them beating Georgia, even if it's at home. I still don't see you beating Georgia. It's really just.
And the quarterback they picked up is nothing to write home about. That's the other part of it that nobody's really talking about.
I think he could be all right, but we'll definitely have to see with them. They didn't miss my top 25. I'll just say that.
No, that's understandable.
Yeah.
All right, you want to take 15 to what, 10?
15 to 11.
11.
Yeah. Well, I've got at 15. I got Indiana. I got Illinois at 14. 13 is Arizona State. 12 is Florida, and 11 is South Carolina.
That's pretty good. This is probably actually the one we have most in common as far as hits. Because I also have Indiana at 15. I put Kansas State at 14. I really like what I've been seeing from them. And Arizona State at 13, keeping that Big 12 together. Followed by Ole Miss at 12 and SMU at 11. I think SMU could have been one of those teams that could have been higher. But I think they have a lot to prove this season.
Yeah.
I really do. And this is their second year in the ACC. Was it just because their schedule was so easy last year? I know they had one of the easiest schedules in the ACC. Or was it truly that SMU has lightning in a bottle with Kevin Jennings and is going to make some huge plays this year and move on up? And
they don't have a terribly hard schedule this year either. So
no, it's not super difficult.
We could definitely see them back maybe.
But I think the hard part with SMU is they're playing a team who's a little bit further up on this list that could be a struggle for them.
Yeah. There's really not much to talk about with these because, Indiana's. They lost some people to the draft, but I think Mendoza's going to be a good quarterback for them. I think Illinois will be strong. They also lost some wide receivers, but I think they'll be.
And that was the hard part with Illinois for me is that's a team I know very, very little about.
Yeah.
So that's why I put them just outside. Looking back, I probably should have included them in the top 25. So sorry to all the Illinois fans out there, but I really do agree with you.
I think they have a chance to be like what Indiana was last year because they really don't have to play anybody other than Ohio State, and they get to play Ohio State at home.
Yeah.
So they've got big upside, but it could also fall apart. You never know. And then Florida at 12. I don't know. If Lagway's healthy, they're number 12. They might be even higher. But if they don't have their quarterback, well, I mean, we saw it last year. If they don't have their quarterback,
It struggles.
they struggle.
And it's a health question because reports were saying they might have been injured during the preseason. So I just don't know if Florida. That's why I put them a little bit lower. Is when I heard the news of their quarterback being hurt or the possibility of them being injured. I went ahead and just lowered their rating because of that. Originally, I had them again close to the area that you're saying, but I had to reduce them. So now we're going to 10 through 5 or 10 to 6.
Yeah.
10 to 6. So at number 10, I had Penn State, which I know is going to upset some folks too. This is another team who consistently chokes when the time's right. Last year they had, they did okay, right? They beat SMU, but they got beat by Oregon, and then they got beat by Ohio State. They beat Illinois, which is the only other ranked team they played all year. So, I mean, they only have one ranked win against Illinois. And during the playoffs against SMU, they went well in the playoffs. SMU, Boise State, and then lost to Notre Dame. If you were to look at that, though, you would say that is probably the easiest out of the playoff routes that they could have gone. If I were a coach, that would be the playoff teams I'd want to play. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of potential at Penn State. They have a fantastic defensive program. It's just a question of, are they going to be able to deliver?
Yeah.
And because I haven't seen it, I had to put them where they are. Yeah. Followed by South Carolina at number 9. This is a program that I really think's up and coming, has a lot of good potential coming out of them. And LSU at number 8, followed by Miami at number 7, and Georgia at number 6. Again, I think these are a really solid group of teams. I don't think, besides where I put Penn State, the rest of them were super controversial. I think that's about where people expect them to be, with maybe the exception of Georgia, but Georgia has a lot of unknowns in Gunnar Stockton. And they have a lot of unknowns from their offensive coordinator, which folks have been calling for his head for a while now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've got Miami at 10.
Oh, wow. I was nicer than Miami than you were. That's crazy.
Miami. I've got LSU at 9, Alabama at 8, Penn State at 7, and Oregon at 6. I think you're wrong about Alabama. I think that they're a very...
Prove me wrong. I'd love to see me be proved wrong.
Kalen DeBoer, I don't know. I think he's got something going there. Hopefully.
I haven't seen it because they haven't been really good since Saban was there.
Yeah. I think he's got a top 10 program there, but he's got a hard schedule. I mean, it's the SEC schedule. It's going to be hard anyways. But I have them slightly above LSU, but I like LSU, and I think it's really Brian Kelly needs to figure out what he's doing, because if he wants to win the SEC, this is the year to do it. I think most of the time you think, okay, is it going to be Alabama or Georgia? Like the last 10 years, it's just been Alabama, Georgia, except for the 1 year LSU had one of the greatest teams of all time. But yeah, this year it could be Texas. I think it could be South Carolina to an extent. It could be LSU. There's just so many teams.
It's so spread out. And really, anybody in the SEC, especially in the top half of the SEC, has a solid chance at making a playoff run. These teams are so competitive, it's not even funny. I mean, all of them have a decent chance at running for the playoffs.
Yeah, and I appreciate you being nice to Miami.
Of course.
I have them at 10 just because I think the teams in front of them are proven winners. They just can't make the playoffs, and they choke, and they've got They're going to play in the cold. I'm calling it right now that they're losing at least one game in November. It could either be, who's it, Virginia Tech and Pitt?
Virginia Tech.
I think it's most likely going to be Pitt, but they could lose both of them because they don't know how to play in the cold, and that's how every year ends when we start good.
And Carson Beck's got a lot of questions about him still. I mean, he was averaging 3 interceptions a game. Was that part of that because his receiver core? Who knows? And then still his health is his arm.
Yeah. If his arm's not good, then that kind of cooks him.
But with Miami's new defensive coordinator, I think there's a really strong potential of that team actually being good.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, like you said, Penn State, a lot of people, they kicked Ohio State out of number 2 to put you at number 2 and ruined the whole game of the century thing for the first game. And I don't know why they did it because I don't have faith in James Franklin. I think he's a good coach, but I mean, you got to prove something to me, man. I don't know.
I agree.
You can't lose to Ohio State and Michigan every year and then maybe knock them off once every couple years and then still hold this. I think your defense is good. I think you have a really good team. I just don't have faith in the program as much as other people do. But yeah, you want to get into this top 5?
Let's go one by one.
One by one?
How about that?
Okay.
All right, who do you have at number 5?
I have Notre Dame at number 5.
Notre Dame. I like that. I have Oregon at number 5, which I know you had at 6. But again, it's one of those teams that, for me, Oregon and Georgia could have been switchable for me.
They're very good. I mean, they've lost people, but they can reload. They're one of those teams that are going to be constantly good every year.
And one of the biggest NIL funds in the country.
Oh yeah. I would not be surprised to see Oregon in, obviously in the college football playoff, but in the Big Ten championship, I could definitely see that.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Who are you for?
For number 4, I have Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame is a really solid football program. I think the fact that they lost their quarterback is going to hurt them a lot. But it seems like they are going to be able to reload. I mean, again, they're a team that spends just ridiculous amounts of money and has some serious skill. I like their head coach a lot. I think he's a smart young guy. And I think that school's got a lot of upside to it and a lot of bright days ahead of it. It'll be interesting to see. I think their schedule this year isn't quite as crazy as last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit easier. I mean, they play Miami week 1 and then A&M week 2. But besides that, they don't really have any tough games to speak of. I think we'll probably see Notre Dame again on the college football playoffs. Oh yeah,
and this is my call to Texas A&M. If you beat Notre Dame and Notre Dame doesn't fall off a cliff this year, which I don't think they will, then you gain my respect. I haven't really had my respect since Johnny Manziel. I don't know. Penn State, if you beat Ohio State this year, you got my respect too. Yeah, but I've got Georgia at 4. I think last year they were just, the wide receiver room was so bad, and we've really reloaded so much on that, and we're always going to have an elite defense. And I think Gunnar Stockton has a lot of potential. Like, a lot of people are putting in Arch Manning type of potential, but I think if the O-line isn't good, then it's not going to be good.
I disagree with that. I think actually the O-line being decent is all it needs to be. I think the big thing is going to be how they coach. If they coach Gunner as a mobile quarterback, have him doing more short passes versus trying to coach him like Carson Beck, someone who can throw those deep, long passes, I think Georgia will do pretty well. But from what I've seen of Gunnar Stockton, he does not have the arm or the accuracy of Carson Beck. But he's more mobile and has the potential to be more mobile. And if they coach him around that and maybe run some option plays where he can actually run the ball like a Haynes King, I think there could be some good potential there because I've heard he's pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. Did you go 4 or I went?
I went 4.
You went. Yeah. Okay. At number 3, I have Clemson.
Ah, that's good. At number 3, I have Auburn. Just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Auburn's nowhere near top 25.
Alabama fans have already left the chat, but they would have came back to say something else.
Exactly. No, screw Auburn. I have Ohio State at number 3.
Ohio State.
I think Ohio State's got a lot of strength to them. Again, coming back winning the national title is a big deal for them. They did lose a good bit on the coaching staff. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they lost both of their coordinators, offensive and defensive. So there's a lot of questions there, but they replaced them with some strong guys. So it'll really just be a question of what does this team look like next year?
Yeah.
Does the head coach, Ryan Day, is he able to, is it all him or was it these coordinators that were allowing him to perform the way he was? And we don't know until toe meets leather at the end of the day. So it's going to be an interesting team to watch. I think there's a ton of potential there, but also some pretty big unknowns.
Yeah, for sure. I think Clemson, they're just a great little team. They've got great defense. They've got great offense. They've got what I think is the best quarterback in college football right now. And I don't know. Dabo has something to prove, even though he's proven so much in the past. I think that he'll be on kind of a vengeance because people are doubting how good he is, and I think they've got the team that puts them in that national championship contention this year.
No, I don't disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
So my number 2 is actually Clemson, which, as you probably would have guessed, just as you said, Clemson's got a lot of strength. I think Dabo's a great coach. Do I think they have some potential in this schedule to have some issues? Of course. I think LSU can give them issues. I think Georgia Tech at home could actually give them issues. And then near the end of the season, Louisville and South Carolina, and possibly even Duke. Sometimes Duke comes out and wins these games. I don't expect them to. But if I were to guess somebody trips them up, it would be LSU or Georgia Tech at the start of the season. Clemson's been one of those teams. As they've got rolling through the season, they've been really strong. Mm-hmm. If they're going to have some mistakes, it's going to be those first couple of games. And, Georgia Tech on week 3 and LSU on week 1, that would be the time those mistakes are made. Georgia Tech has a habit of upsetting top 15 teams at home, or top 25 teams at home. I think there's a potential there for some rockiness, but I think at the same time, coming into the season, Clemson looks to be one of the most complete teams in college football.
For sure. So who does that make your number 1 then? Texas. I've got Texas at 2 and Ohio State at 1. And I was really kind of back and forth on it, but now I feel like Texas, Clemson, Georgia are kind of in a tier, and I feel like just Ohio State's momentum right now. They're coming off the championship, and they don't have their quarterback, but I think he got announced today. But it really doesn't matter who their quarterback is because they've got Jeremiah Smith. They've got this great wide receiver room.
For sure.
They could have me throwing the ball, and it would be okay. And I think their defense is great. I just love everything about Ohio State.
No, I understand.
Really. And I think Texas is kind of built the same way-ish, but Arch Manning, there's a few questions around him. I don't know how much I buy the hype, but I also don't buy the hype at the same time. I don't think he should be number 1 in Heisman odds right now.
I don't buy the hype on Arch Manning, but I still think Texas is probably the best team in college football. And the reason why is just what they bring to the table defensively is another level above generally everybody else. And then the receiver room is great. Arch Manning doesn't have to be the best quarterback in the world for Texas to go and win the national title this year. And I like what you said about Ohio State. Again, the biggest question for me about Ohio State is losing offensive and defensive coordinators. These are the guys who are calling a lot of your plays. So without knowing what that's going to look like coming into the new season, I couldn't put them at number one, but they definitely have the staff and the facility and the players to be number one. It's just there's questions there still.
Yeah, and I have a lot of faith in Ohio State until the last game.
Michigan?
Yeah, that last game in November, man. I mean, last year was insane. That was
a game they should have never lost.
Game they should have never lost. And I'm glad they came back and won that championship for their sake, but especially for Ryan Day's sake, because if he would have got bounced by Tennessee at home first time, he'd be on the job market before we had a champion.
For sure.
And yeah, but that's another thing that I like about Michigan is how strong they ended their season, because they beat Ohio State and then they went into the bowl game and beat Alabama. I think that people are seeing their momentum, but at the same time, you can't lose all those games last year and have the sanctions that you do.
Well, it's a team that's been accused of cheating for quite some time now. And, there's all sorts of stuff that comes baggage that comes with Michigan.
Yeah, and we don't know what sanctions are going to get yet, so yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the top 25.
Did you have any big surprises from me?
Just a couple. The big surprises, I thought, it'll get pretty surprised when we get into the top 25, but there were two teams that I was like, wow.
Yeah, and I really think Iowa could be a better team than Michigan this year. That's one of my hot takes.
I don't think that's a bad take at all, especially with their quarterback, dude.
Yeah.
That guy, oh my God.
It just depends on their offensive play calling. Iowa's always had a really strong defense. It just depends on how their offensive play calling looks. But yours was, there was a couple. Like I thought you were gonna put Miami higher.
Yeah.
Especially with their new DC, I thought, because that was really Miami's biggest weak point last year was their defensive coordinator and then at times their offensive line. But no, I think everything else was pretty fair.
Yeah. I don't think Carson Beck is on the same level as Cam Ward at all, but I think that the fact that they went out and they got Carson Beck, who was probably top 5, top 10 quarterback last year. I don't know how I feel about that. A lot of people.
I'd say he was a top 50 quarterback last year.
He kind of hurt my soul. When he was on, he looked like a great quarterback last year, but when he was off, he was just.
I think you go back 2 years ago, Carson Beck, I agree, he's a top 5 quarterback all day long. Yeah. But Carson Beck last year, you can't throw 3 interceptions a game and be a top 5 quarterback. I just don't think it's possible. His completion rate was like in the 60s. It wasn't bad, but it's his interceptions that killed him. So, and then also he got sacked a couple of times because he wasn't mobile enough in the pocket. He likes to sit there and read. And then he either chucks the ball away and throws it to our team or gets sacked. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I wasn't super impressed when I saw Carson Beck play against Georgia Tech. Oh. Somebody who at the end of the day is an okay defense, but let Syracuse and Kyle McCord run all over them. Yeah. And then them come out and really get stopped. Like Carson Beck getting stopped by Georgia Tech's defense. I just wasn't impressed with the guy.
Yeah. I think he'll come back this season with a little bit of revenge.
I hope so. For Miami's sake, I hope so.
He's had a rough off season. I hope he locked in. I hope he said, my girlfriend left me, my cars are stolen.
cheated on his girlfriend with another chick.
I hope he goes, all right, this is my villain arc. I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna show everybody.
We'll see. He dressed like, to ACC Media Days, he dressed like Greer from Despicable Me, though. Let's just say that. You can put a picture of it in between us.
It was so bad.
All right, you want to move on to some week 0?
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, you know what I think we need to do? I think we need to we should give our predictions and then keep our record of what our win percentage is.
Oh, it's gonna be so low.
I'm gonna be throwing some Hail Marys too, but you might be throwing even more Hail Marys.
I got hot
It'd be
takes.
like Alabama's playing against Western Carolina A&M TNT. What? Okay, yeah. I got them by 10 points.
Give me Western or whatever.
Yeah.
Give me FSU week 1 against Alabama by 14. I'm kidding.
Who knows?
I have Alabama by 7. But,
for sure.
So week 0, our 3 big games is Iowa State, Kansas State, Fresno, Kentucky, Stanford, Hawaii. Which one do you want to start with?
I guess the big one out in Ireland.
Yeah, Iowa State versus Kansas State. I mean, this is really a battle of the Big 12 and can go either way.
Yeah. I struggle to actually pick a team. I think it's going to be. I'm excited that this game is the one that's in Ireland this year. Next year, I think
It's TCU, North Carolina.
TCU, North Carolina. I thought it was Michigan versus somebody.
TCU, North Carolina next year.
I still think that. I still think that.
That could be a fun game, but we have no idea what North Carolina's going to do with Bill Belichick.
Yeah, Bill Belichick.
Or if he'll even be there. He might not
Yeah.
make it 2 games this season.
Yeah, we'll see how long he lasts there.
40-0 TCU week 1, by the way, against North Carolina.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think I guess I have Iowa State because I had them 1 spot ahead of them in the rankings, but I only have them by maybe a touchdown, maybe less. I don't even know. I think it's going to be close, and I think it's going to be a good game, and I'm excited for Saturday.
Yeah, I am too. I have Kansas State by 3.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think that's a super, super tight game, and I think it can be anybody's game. Going over to Ireland, too, adds a level of complexity to it. Because when you're traveling that far, these teams do leave a day or 2 in advance. But as both of us know who've been over to that side of the pond, and they're coming from an even bigger time change because they're further west, that can hurt you. And it can add a level of unpredictability in this game that we don't really know about. So it'll be interesting to see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fresno State, Kansas. Oh, I like that. I'm going to pick Kansas just because Kansas was one of those teams where I had them around somewhere between 35 and 45-ish, kind of. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Fresno State opened last year against Michigan and lost by 20 points. Okay, so 30-10. Not to say this was the greatest Michigan in the world.
Oh, absolutely not.
But they had some close calls with some decent teams like Washington State, Air Force. They didn't really have any marquee wins last year. But we're talking about Kansas, and we're talking probably bottom of the barrel SEC, really a basketball school that has neglected their football program completely.
Yeah.
I think this could be anybody's game realistically. If Fresno State comes out really wanting to win this, I think they could. So I'm going to give it to Fresno State, but again, by less than 3 or less. I mean, realistically, which I know is tight, but it really could be anybody's game.
I think it's got potential to be a good game. I think Kansas has been a little less neglectful in the last few years of their football program, and that's basically because they're just like Kentucky, their basketball program hasn't been as strong as it used to be, and wouldn't you know, their football program starts to gain traction, and the last thing you want is a mid school with basketball and football.
True.
So I would, if you don't win against Fresno State, please send the rest of your funding to your basketball program. I think they greatly appreciate it.
I think it would be better spent there.
Yeah, I think it'd be better spent there anyways, but yeah.
And lastly, we have Stanford, Hawaii.
Stanford, Hawaii.
Stanford, one of the worst teams in the ACC last year.
Yeah.
Against Hawaii, which I don't think Hawaii's season was terrible last year.
Where is this game?
This is at Hawaii.
At Hawaii.
Which I imagine helps them.
I want to go to that Hawaii stadium they're building. I can't. When they build that, that's when I'd probably try to make the trip out to Hawaii. That'd be cool. Damn, I really don't know. I want to say Hawaii just because Stanford was not good last year.
They were really bad last year. It wasn't that they were not good, it's that they were really bad. Which is sad to say because, Stanford at one point was a really good team.
Yeah.
So,
Shout out Aaron Luck.
I have Hawaii winning this, but again, I think it's going to be a close one. Hawaii got blown out a couple times good last year. Not shut out, but blown out. But I think Hawaii probably has this. Stanford's been having some coaching issues recently, and I think that's causing a lot of issues. So I just don't know if they're going to be able to perform realistically.
Yeah. I just said Aaron Luck. I'm sorry, Andrew Luck. That is not your name.
Andrew Luck's
Shout out Richard Sherman too. But yeah, I think we agree on Hawaii. Kansas and Fresno State can really go either way.
Either way.
Yeah, and Iowa State, Kansas State is going to be a good one. Yeah. I think that's definitely our game of the week. You would
For
agree?
sure. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. 100%. 110%.
Yeah.
But hey, watch out for Fresno State.
Oh,
You never know. You never know.
Shout out Fresno State.
Oh, cool. You want to get into Heisman contenders?
Heisman contenders, yeah. So we've got, I wouldn't say a list of Heisman contenders. We're going to pick our Heisman winners and a dark horse. Yeah, a long shot. Who do we think? Mine's not a super long shot, but who we think is going to make it?
I think my number one pick, you said earlier, best quarterback in college football right now. I have Cade Klubnik winning the Heisman. I think there's not too much to say about Cade Klubnik that hasn't already been said. Great arm, great battle knowledge, and coming in as a senior, he's got the experience and the team behind him to really win that trophy.
Oh yeah. I really like that pick, and I don't think this is too much of a hot take, but it also kind of is. I have him as my runner-up, but I think it's going to be one of those years where you could be like last year. Travis Hunter got it, and we were all like, well, Genty or Cam Ward could have got that, and no one would have complained. Yeah, Cam Ward was exceptional last year, and Genty was putting up Barry Sanders numbers. But for me, I have a wide receiver winning it for the second year in a row. I've got Jeremiah Smith out of Ohio State. When I tell you I haven't ever seen anybody like this,
he's pretty impressive to watch.
I love me some Jeremiah Smith, and I think that he could definitely bring it home. I think we got to enjoy watching him while we can.
No, I agree. He's impressive to
Yeah.
watch. He really is.
Especially at the
athlete.
end of last season, he just kind of took control of the games, and I really believe that he has the potential to win it.
I agree. It'll be interesting to see. I had him on my list as, probably my runner-up or second runner-up. Everything below my first pick was kind of like, it could be a coin flip. And it could be any of these guys. Whether it's Jeremiah Smith or DJ Lagway if he stays healthy. And those are my number two guys.
Lagway was so good. And he was beating Georgia and then he got hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
He was doing great last year. And I feel like he could definitely, as long as he stays healthy, him and Florida will be in contention spots.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then for long shots, might not surprise you. I have Haynes King, and I also have Sam Levitt as my other long shot.
I like that.
I think both these guys are damn impressive athletes. I think if Haynes King stays healthy and Georgia Tech has the season they could with the ease of their schedule, and possibly being one of the top teams in the ACC, I think we could see a Haynes King Heisman run. How he played against Georgia, if he plays that way every single Friday or Saturday, I think he could have it in the bag. Because that Haynes King is something we don't see in college football very often.
Mm-hmm.
But if he comes being soft or he goes back to throwing interceptions like he did a couple years ago, it might be a different story. But if he can be the same Haynes King every single day we saw against UGA, that could be a tough contender for a Heisman. I really could.
Oh yeah, I think it's definitely a Lagway situation where if he stays healthy. I mean, watching him last year, oh man, he's just so mobile, and he was so good against Miami. He was so good against Georgia. He showed up when it mattered, and I hope we get to see a healthy season from him, because I think he's
very
good. I don't know how much of a long shot this is, but I have Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame. I think that Notre Dame will be running the ball a lot this year, and from what I saw last year, I loved what I saw.
Yeah.
He was great, and I think that Notre Dame will run the ball a lot this year, and I think as long as he stays healthy too, he'll be able to get that.
Again, it's tough picking a running back, because there was a couple of running backs I was looking at, and it was like, can these guys stay healthy? Because that is a position where you're getting beat on by linemen more than any other position. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to at the end of the day. When you're having guys that are 300 pounds go and smack you left and right, I mean, it's just tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing.
I know you thought I was going to pick Carson Beck.
I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you did.
He said earlier, he was like, you better not pick Carson Beck. And I was like, hey, who knows?
Oh.
That would be so bad. Shout out Haynes King, a friend of the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a photo with him, right?
Yeah.
We'll put it up.
Throw it up there.
Friend of the pod. Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, cool. I think that's pretty much it.
I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for joining us for this first episode. We're going to be trying to upload every week and give you some college football news, our predictions for the week, and that's pretty much it.
Yes, thank y'all. For all the people I offended, sorry, not sorry. Come prove me wrong, though.
Yeah.
If you want to come debate me live, let me know. I'm more than happy to have you. Or just go be a warrior up in the comments for your team. Either way, I respect it. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Have a good night.
Oh, yeah. And we want to hear your hot takes as well. So
yes, leave a comment.
leave a comment with your hot take of the college football season, and we'll react to it on the next episode. And we'll see you later.